The Trump administration approved a plan to provide lethal weapons to Ukraine. Last Friday, the State Department said the U.S. has decided to provide enhanced defense capabilities to help Ukraine defend its sovereignty and deter further aggression. The new arms include American-made Javelin anti-tank missiles. The move comes amid a recent uptick in clashes between Ukrainian soldiers and Russian-backed separatists.
And I think what an important issue to look at with weapons sales in the United States is that weapons are one of the few exports that the United States still has. Corn is another one, and then weapons is a second, and the third is natural gas and shale oil. And so weapons and defense contracting is a very important part and a very lucrative part of the American economy. Weapons contractors are very much situated within the political elites and the establishment in the United States. They lobby very hard, and so I'm sure that they had a role to play in the decision to deploy arms to Ukraine and sell these arms.
The administration of former U.S. President Barack Obama had refused to supply Ukraine with lethal weaponry and instead provided Kiev with $600 million in military assistance. The move is likely to become another sore point between Washington and Moscow, as President Donald Trump contends with questions about whether he's too hesitant to confront the Kremlin. This might prompt a confrontation between Russia and the U.S. or Russia and NATO.
NATO is essentially a vessel of American foreign policy, just as the Warsaw Pact was a vessel for the Soviet Union. So either one of those potential scenarios would essentially be the United States, either plus or minus its allies versus Russia. I feel that both of these scenarios are unlikely, but obviously the more serious one would be the situation which involves more countries, and that would be if the NATO alliance as a whole engaged in military conflict with the Russian Federation.
Moscow has warned that Washington was encouraging new bloodshed in eastern Ukraine by its decision to provide the ex-Soviet nation with lethal weapons. In a statement, Russia's Deputy Foreign Minister, Sergei Ryabkov, said American weapons can lead to new victims in our neighboring country, to which we cannot remain indifferent, adding the United States, in a certain sense, had crossed the line. Sending lethal weapons to Ukraine also creates the possibility that American arms could kill Russian soldiers, a situation that could push the two nuclear-armed nations closer to direct confrontation. Although U.S. support has been solid and Western countries still back Ukraine's president, discouraging signs are already on the horizon. Petro Poroshenko has so far disappointed the West on multiple fronts.
I think that the U.S. has been, as well as NATO, has been quite patient with Petro Poroshenko. He has had since 2014 to establish the Western interests in Ukraine and to quell the rebellions that are in the east of the country. He has failed to do so. He has also failed to marshal the population to fight effectively a very unpopular war, a civil war against DPR and LPR. And these are wars that are very unpopular, especially in the Russian portions of the country. So while they may still be open to profiting from selling weapons to Ukraine, we may see a rollback in support in 2018. And it wouldn't be super surprising if the United States and NATO decided they would rather have a different actor controlling Ukraine that would better serve their interests.
Against such a backdrop, Moscow blames anti-Russian sentiments for the chill in U.S.-Russian relations. In an interview with Simarini newspaper, Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov said Moscow hopes the European Union will stop pandering to a small but aggressive group of Russophobic countries that play the anti-Russian card for solution of mercenary tasks. Already a volatile region with reckless decisions made in the White House, peace will be the first victim to fall.